Grab it. Good girl.
Well, we had a lot of people say to us,
$100 to get them put down.
what's the point?
She leaks. It's like you leave the tap on and the washer's gone. She's constantly dripping. She's my little girl. Yes, I love her.
These problems are huge because if you can't fix it, she won't be able to be an inside dog. It'll increase the risk of getting infections. Yeah, that's interesting. Unable to fix it, I think one of the options would be euthanasia for her.
Don't bet you might, love.
Good girl. Get your bags, Keish. Ready to go? I got Keisha probably just before Christmas. And then, yeah, we started noticing wee everywhere.
About 2 months ago.
About 2-3 months ago. Then we started to notice it's a bit of a problem. She leaks pretty. It's like you leave the tap on and the washer's gone. She's constantly dripping.
Well, we had a lot of people say to us, what's the point?
It's only $100 to get them put down.
Just don't put up with it. We can't do that.
Oh, she's my little girl. Yes, I love her. Good girl, aren't you, honey? So we took her to, I think, 4 vets in the end. 3 of them didn't really want to do much about it, said it was too involved. Ended up taking her to one of the bigger hospitals. They found the problem. I know what the problem is. They're saying it's genetically all wrong inside, so they wanted $4,000 cash up front. I don't have, that sort of money just laying around.
We were pleading to organise some sort of a payment plan. We could give a deposit up front, go in there every week and obviously give them what we had, but no one would accept it. Cried nearly every day, didn't I? It's just not fair on her, it's not fair on us.
You going on the plane? Are you excited? Yeah?
So yeah, then I rang the radio station, ring up and have a whinge about vets being more worried about money than the actual dog. One of the blokes there, he just loved the sound of the story and he emailed Chris Brown.
Hi there, it's Chris Brown here.
And Dr. Chris Brown rang me, asked me my situation and said, yeah, he's got things going and he's got someone there that'll probably be able to fix her. So it was pretty, yeah, it was a good moment. To have someone just say, yeah, look, we'll help you.
Exactly.
That's all we wanted all along. Like,
Yep.
we were prepared to pay the money and stuff. We just needed a bit of a break.
What would I say to Dr. Chris? I love you. Thank you very much.
You'll be right, darling. You won't be in there for too long, mate.
We're off to Keisha and I, get on the plane and go to Sydney. A little bit, nervous about how it'll all go.
Hello. We've heard a lot about you. She looks as though she's a bit frisky, so I reckon we go to Bondi, work off some of that energy before she goes into hospital. Welcome to Sydney, huh? Welcome to Sydney. When you came to Sydney, I don't think she had that in mind. Mate, she's got class at least.
Yeah, well, it's got standards, mate.
She's just smacked him now.
Good girl. You like that, honey?
You're a special girl, aren't you, Case? You're one of a kind. Oh, girl, we'll get you sorted out, won't we? The two of you have travelled a long way, but you're finally here.
Yes, finally.
After you guys.
Okay.
How you going?
How are you?
Chris.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, this is the one I've told you so much about. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
Keisha.
Aisha, how you going?
This is Matt.
Andrew.
Good, mate.
Good to meet you, absolutely. How you chooking?
That's just a
Thank
little
you.
example of what she does, so you can see.
All the time?
Yeah, pretty much.
How long have you had her?
7 months.
So pretty much since you were
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
since
good luck.
you-
Come on through.
Thanks heaps, Chris.
All right, all the best.
I'll see you at the pub.
See you, Keisha. See you, pups.
Come on, chooking. All right, well, let's get her up on the table.
Come here, Kate. Girl.
Yeah, she's really quite moist here, isn't she?
Yeah.
Just dribbling even now. Good girl. So that's one kidney up here.
Yep.
That's the normal one, so that's the right one. And that's the other kidney here. That one should actually be sitting up here.
All right, eh?
This is the ureter. It's just a fine, maybe 1.5 millimetres.
Yep.
That's normal. This one you can see is 3 to 4 millimetres wide. So that suggests to me that it's not emptying into the bladder normally. So what we'll look at doing is cutting it off at the urethra and then making a little hole into the bladder and suturing it into there and re-implanting it.
So a bit like just welding it back on.
Pretty much.
Righto.
Fixing the plumbing up.
Yep. Bit nervous. See what happens. Now we'll just see what he says after he does the ultrasounds.
Good girl.
It's all right. Good girl. No. Okay. Let's try it. Good girl.
Right. Looks like she's got bilateral ectopic ureters. I guess unfortunately what we've found is that both of them are not going to the right spot. We'll have to be very careful and monitor her kidney function and her urine production. I know it's not quite the news that you want, it's certainly not the news I wanted.
No, it's
But I guess that's why we did the test, because there was that doubt about it, and now we know, so I can prepare better for tomorrow. But they have got a very close bond. I mean, he's moved heaven and earth to make sure that he can get his dog fixed.
good girl. You right? Toughy.
I think it'll be a bit of a mess if we have any problems.
All right. She's all Andrews now, so seems like he knows what he's on about. Confused me with the jargon, so we'll see what happens.
These problems they're huge because, you know, if you can't fix it, she won't be able to be an inside dog. It'll increase the risk of getting infections. Unable to fix it, I think you'd have to be looking, one of the options would be euthanasia for her, so, which would not be nice. That would break his heart, that's right, so.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure she'd be right anyway, you know. She better be.
That's the left one, that's the right one. Yeah, that's interesting.
Connecting to the uterus? Or?
Yeah, wow. She's a urogenital nightmare. It's a perfect example of why you shouldn't breed closely related animals to each other. I still have concerns for that, but I think we've got a good chance. Look, I was very pleased with it. I was happy with how the ureters got reimplanted and suturing was good. I was a little concerned about the troughs that we found going down from the openings into the urethra. So I guess it really, I mean, we'll know how it's gone in the next few days. So we just have to wait and see.
Getting a bit anxious. Been on the phone to Mel this morning and last night. She's sitting by the phone waiting for me to ring. She's a bit more anxious than me, I think, especially because she's, you know, still in Melbourne. But, and just wanted to be finished, go and see how it all went. Yeah, very eager. Didn't get much sleep last night. And a bit sweaty in the hands, so still waiting.
Matt, how you going?
Oh yeah, I don't know, how am I going?
No, again, everything went very well.
Yes.
I'm very pleased with it,
Yep,
but
yep.
time will tell.
Yep.
And we've done everything we can for her. I was very pleased with how it all went technically, so she's waking up really nicely.
So it's all good.
I'm very pleased with it,
All right.
absolutely.
That's what I wanted to hear.
So you can relax a little bit. And
When I see her, I will.
when you see her, that's a good thing.
Hey, gorgeous. She's a real sweetie, isn't she? She's a real gentle lady.
Look at this. Fully dooly.
It's looking good.
It's a nice stitch in the case.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
She's a real sweetie. She was very good this morning. Bladder was nice and full. We checked on the ultrasound, which is all to the good, and she hadn't leaked at all, even with quite a full bladder, which is fantastic.
That's awesome. And her bed's dry.
And her bed is dry as dry.
That's unreal.
She hasn't had any problems.
So is she looking like she'll be allowed out in another day or two?
She has to urinate. Until she does that,
She's
I
stuck
really
here.
can't give you a time,
Time,
you
yep.
know, and we've just got to go step by step.
You just need to do some wheeze. You'll be all better soon, mate. Hey? Go home in a couple of days. Yes? Now I'm even more anxious.
though she's got the catheter in, there's still that bit where she can actually produce urine. Good girl.
How'd you go?
She's urinated twice.
What, through past the catheter?
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing what you get excited about when you're a vet sometimes.
I hope she remembers me. It's been, you know, a week.
We're all missing her. We all want her home.
I can't believe we're now at that point where she gets to go home. She's been through so much, so many ups and downs. She's overcome so many hurdles, all with a smile on her face, all being the most beautiful dog you could ever ask her to be. I'm so happy for her. This is her moment, and I just feel honoured to be a part of it. There you are. You're home. You're home, girl. Come on. Who's he? Hello.
Hello, my girl.
Have they been looking after you?
She's got weeks of affection to give back.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Cash, it's not been the same without you.
I've got to say, I've treated a lot of dogs. I've never seen a dog so patient, so understanding of what we're trying to achieve the whole time.
Yeah.
She was just faultless. So beautiful.
She's a good girl.
Just like a dad.
She's a good
Exactly.
girl.
That's what I thought as well. You know, just takes after you. The important information too, on the drive to the airport, then in the crate, and then the drive here, there hasn't been one drop of urine.
Not one drop. Oh, Casey.
Not one drop.
That's awesome. No puddles. Yeah, she get a lot of love, a lot of cuddles, a lot of pats. Take her down the river.
Should be able to sit on the bed.
Yes, and let her on the bed.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I admire the fact that you didn't take no as an answer for her. You know, you stood in the face of some pretty big obstacles and you gave her every chance. There's no other dog out there that's built like Kate. She's a beautiful dog, so patient, so understanding, just one of a kind in every way possible.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, can't think. She say thank you, Dad. But yeah, you, Andrew, and everyone at Sash Hospital are really good with her. Happy to go.
Bottom of our hearts. Thanks very much, Chris. I want to give you a hug. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Casey, kisses. Nice, my girl. It is very good to have her back on rack.
Good boy. I know he was just acting weird, and then I rang up my brother and said, do you know what's wrong with him? And he said, last time that happened, it was a tick. You can't see, you can't stand up.
Lucas. Hi, I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you, Lisa. And this is Paula.
Yep.
Hi, sweetheart. How long ago could he not walk? When did you notice?
Probably about 3 or 4 hours ago was when I first noticed it.
Okay, sure, all right. Okay, let's take him into one of the consult rooms. I'll take a look at him and we'll try and find a tick under all that hair. Hey, we're going to try and slide this under. Yeah. I know, you're a big boy. You are. So we sort of use this as a sling so he can, so he's not bowed in his front legs.
Yeah.
Do you mind taking the other side? All right. So if we just prop him up, that helps. Good boy. All right, sweetie. You're okay. You're okay. Has he had any previous medical problems besides the tick? Is there anything I need to know about?
No.
Is he on any medications at the moment? And he's been eating well? Has he coughed at all since you noticed that he couldn't use the back legs?
Yeah.
He has been coughing? Okay. Let's just check if he can swallow. Okay, so he hasn't got a very strong swallow reflex either. So he's letting me stick my hand fairly far back there without reacting as much as a normal dog would. Basically what happens when they're bitten by a tick is that it causes paralysis, so the toxin goes into the bloodstream and it binds at the ends where the muscles meet the nerves, and it paralyses them. So it usually starts at the back legs and it moves up. It's all right, sweetie. I know. It's life-threatening because it can paralyse the breathing muscles, so they won't be able to breathe anymore. Let me just give him a cuddle on the head. It's okay. It's all right, sweetie. How would you feel if we clipped his hair off?
Oh, I think we were going to get it done anyway. So.
Okay, all right. Because I think that's going to be the easiest way.
Yeah.
He's got so much hair and you need to search in all the little orifices around his bum, in his ears, around the mouth. So he's going to need a full haircut to try and find the tick. It's too early to tell exactly how he's going to do. Oh my God, like shearing a sheep. So the next stage is that we would shave all his hair. At the same time, we'll put a catheter into his vein and give him the tick anti-serum. We need to give that quite slowly anyway, so we'll be clipping him and giving the serum simultaneously. In his situation, I would probably sedate him. His temperature's slightly elevated and he seems quite anxious, and the more anxious they are, then the more effect the toxin can have on them, so it's better to keep them as calm and cool as possible. Okay, so we put the catheter in and he's been sedated, so he's resting quite comfortably now and much more relaxed, which is good. What we're going to start doing now is clipping him and giving him the anti-serum quite slowly over half an hour to an hour. Now, we won't notice any improvement for the next, say, 12 to 24 hours. And you know very well that it can take a few days for it to resolve, if not a few weeks. Hopefully there won't be any complications and it will run pretty smoothly, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. He probably won't get any worse once we give him the anti-serum. It's just a matter of whether or not he gets any complications, such as fluid in his lungs or inhaling food because he can't swallow very well. There's no sign of the tick here, so it's obviously moved on somewhere else. Got to find the big grey female. So we shave until we find it. Good boy, look at this. Never get a vet to clip. Oh my God, you've put me to shame. It's all right, honey. I'm in the firing line there. All right, sweetie. Okay. He came in roughly 2 to 3 hours ago. He could walk on his front legs. Now he can't walk on his front legs, so the paralysis has extended up to the front part of his body already. She's nearly done.
Boy, you're a good boy. Easy, mate.
I can't imagine how hard it would be to feel like this.
Easy, baby.
Good boy.
Stop.
Calm down. So he's started to breathe up a little bit more. His oxygen levels are reading slightly lower than they were before. So at this stage, we're just going to try him with a little bit of oxygen and see if we notice any improvement. Good boy, you're so brave. We're just going to keep on searching throughout the night. We don't want to stress him out too much more, so now what we're going to do is just leave him in the cage, let him have some rest, give the tick anti-serum some time to kick in, and see where he's at again in the morning. After having some time just to relax, he seems to be breathing a lot better, so I do think it was probably the stress of the clipping and being in a new environment and not being able to use your legs, and he seems to be doing much better, but we'll closely monitor that overnight. I'm sorry for your haircut. Hey. Yes, he says, I'm very embarrassed. Just have a nice sleep, Paula. Paula! Hi, sweetheart. Look at you. Hey, you're a lot happier. He was searched throughout the night for more ticks. They didn't find any others, but he doesn't look like he's got any more. You want to try staying for me? Oh, sweetie. Look at that. Oh, it's a bit wobbly. He's not completely out of the danger zone. I guess his swallow reflex is not perfect. Boy. I know you don't like your mouth being touched. There always is the risk that he can inhale some of his food, so we have to just feed him very slowly. And some chicken. Hey, is this better than dog food? Come on. Ah, it's a bit spoilt. This is a really quick recovery for a tick bite. Honestly, I usually find it takes about 24 hours for us to notice some improvement, and in his situation it's been less than 12 and he's already made a dramatic change. How are you feeling about your new haircut? Hey? Feel like a new man. Collar's too big for you now, huh? You've no hair there.
I'm here to pick up Paula.
Absolutely. No, sweetie. Come on, you can't swim on the floor. You can't go swimming. Hey, it's too slippery. Come on, Paula. Come on, who's that? Come on. Who's there? Hey?
Look how small you are.
Your brother Lucas did a fantastic job. He noticed straight away when something was wrong, gave us a ring and got your grandfather to bring him in, so good on him. Yeah, tell him he's saved his dog's life.
Yeah, definitely did.
So I think in this situation you need to really check him every day for a tick, particularly because he's had one before and not so long ago, and it's going to be a lot easier with him having such a short coat in the summertime to have a really thorough check the ears, around the mouth, because most of it happens around the head area. You happy to go home? You are? You're such a good boy. And he's eating well now as well, which is excellent.
What should we be feeding him exactly?
Just his normal food's fine. Just watch him for the next few days when he's eating, just so that he doesn't guzzle it down and choke. He's swallowing pretty normally, so you just got to be extra cautious, really restrict his exercise. So no walks for 2 weeks, don't let him play around the backyard. Is he normally outdoors?
Yeah, he's normally in the backyard.
Are you able to keep him inside for the next 2 weeks? Yeah, so keep him inside and just try not to hype him up and get him too excited. He just needs to be really calm for the next 2 weeks. If they get overexcited, in rare cases, the signs can sometimes come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah,
Give us a call if you need.
Definitely will. Come on.
Bye, Paula. Go on, good boy. You can do it. You can do it. You just take it slowly.
Come on. Come on,
Good boy.
Yeah, boy. Good boy. I was really surprised first at how he changed. His coat was completely gone. Like he went from looking like a polar bear to almost a lion. But it's just good seeing him alive, happy, strong.
It might be an idea that they keep him clipped. I won't tell the Samoyed Society that, but it's just going to make their lives a lot easier and help him out and hopefully prevent this happening again.
No, he looks kind of like a poodle. Gross.
I'm normally a vet for cats and dogs. There's nothing wrong with that. But occasionally, you have to mix it up a bit, don't you? And just how much I'm about to mix it up, well, that's what worries me.
I had a call from Tim at the Australian Reptile Park. Now, he's got a case for me that's just come up.
So So what have we got, Tim?
Well, we've got a snake, and we've brought her out a winner, and she's just off of food. She just hasn't pepped up.
Okay. What sort of snake?
Her name is Atomic Betty.
Mate, that's not a snake, that's a monster.
She's still off of food.
What is she, a reticulated python?
Yep, largest python. She is
Good.
6 or 7 metres long.
No, excellent, good. Yep.
100 kilos.
And she's been off of food.
For a period each year, we cool her down and winterise her. Now, we've brought her back out of that, bumped the temperatures up, and normally she'd be looking for food. She looks good. We can't actually pick anything, but yeah, we're just a little concerned that she hasn't taken a food item.
And no other signs that you've noticed?
No, look, I mean, we know all the things that, you know, a cold, their tongue sticks together, but there's been no obvious signs.
Whilst pythons don't eat every day, they do eat regularly, so the fact she hasn't eaten for 3 months, that's a long time, and she'd be starting to struggle because of that, so there must be something going on here.
We can go in.
How easy is that?
If we need to, we can do it. There's some pretty big safety issues.
Yeah,
but
I'm just worried that in catching her, she might actually catch.
yeah, we're not worried about a bite. We are, but the bite's secondary to being coiled.
Yeah.
These guys can just
Good
crush.
constrictors, aren't they?
Yeah. So you get the call, got to be in there and just unwinding her on whatever she's on.
Sure.
Very scary.
It's not like we're dealing with a python that's got no previous convictions. Atomic Betty has struck before, and she's really called around someone. So if she does that again and does it properly, then someone could be in a lot of trouble here. Let's get some people together and let's do it.
Yep, I'll get the troops.
Okay. See you soon.
Right, so plan is we got myself second, Luke third, Mick and Chris at the door. Lizzie's going to coordinate anything from the door, so follow instruction from Lizzie. Brendo behind for the muscle. Everyone knows, easy. Obi's going to straight on the head, 2 hands. And then second of all we're doing is coil control. So keep it back.
It's really important if she does start to coil that you get it off straight away, so we get a hold of her as soon as possible.
Yeah, and keep it off, that's it. Once we get that, pending from that point whether we need 1 more in, 2 more in, 3 more in, but we know, I mean Chris particularly, if you're in, please, not fun and games, just get them coils off. You're a big bloke, so that's sort of a...
And just unravelled so we straighten her essentially.
Yeah, what we'll try, once we've got her out, it's okay, she'll settle, and we want to try and be as quick as we can. These guys again get lactic acid build up, so nice and quick and hold her out.
The main thing I need is just to get pretty good access to her, I guess, front half. I just want to have a good listen to her heart, to her lungs, and around just her stomach and upper intestine area. So I just need stethoscope on. So you can just little parts of her I'm just going to need stretched out. But I'll work around you guys. I know you guys are doing the muscle in there, so I respect what you're doing. So I'll just try to keep out of your way.
I'd aim between Luke and myself because the pass that we should have should be about where her upper, the lungs and heart and things like that is. So that being said, to start with, but you might need to be on the tail and bottom end and keep those coils off, and once we get her, then move up. So
okay.
All good, let's do it.
What I'm going to look for is first of all, have a look around her head, around her face, just to see whether there's any discharge, and also if there's any sort of lesions around her mouth that maybe make it uncomfortable for her to eat. And then from there, I'm going to work my way down her body to around where her heart is, to where her air sacs, her lungs are, and then down to her stomach, and just see if we can pick out any abnormalities and have a bit of a listen there as well. It's going to be interesting in there.
We right? Come round. Go, bring back, coils off. That's it. Right, 1 more on. Over, switch hands. Keep that off. Come on, Mick, jump in. Chris, can you come in? Yep. Now, we've got a problem with that coil on top. Coil on, Chris. Someone on front. Right, let's settle, easy. Hang on.
You right?
Obi, I'm going to get neck with Obi. Someone got back?
Yep.
Right, I'm going to push back to you, Obi. Stop her doing that. Settle.
Just stop for a sec.
Real good?
I got it.
She's right now.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
you're
going to stop
good.
that
You
part.
want to get your box whenever you want.
You good?
Don't drop that tail.
Nice catch, mate.
It's really important.
Okay.
Are you right for me to have a look at her head? Is that all right? Can you just move it around a little bit? Yeah. Just looking around her mouth for any signs of injuries. She's in pretty good condition around her head though. I mean, she's not sunken at all. There's no discharge, there's no no bubbling around her nostrils or out her mouth. So I need a heart. So her heart's going to be a third of the way between her head and her cloaca, which is what, about there? All right, so what's a third? It's about here. Beautiful. This would have to be right up there in terms of the abnormal and unusual medical examinations I've done. I've got a lot of respect for her, and I just hope she has the same for my veterinary skills.
Hold on for a sec. Here we go, everyone on.
Watch his coil, you might have to move up.
You all right? Sit her down. Yeah, pass me that. That's it. Righto, she's good again. You can see her relax there.
You can just imagine, once she wraps around, there's that much muscle around you that you just stand no chance. And no one can feel any bumps in the skin, there's no lesions or any sign of parasites there. All pretty good. Importantly also, her hydration was normal, so she wasn't dehydrated at all. So my feeling is that she's come out of a hibernation a little bit slowly. What I might do is give her a vitamin B shot just to try and kickstart her whole system.
Yeah, good.
Good, there we go. By giving her a hit of B vitamins, she's going to be ready to take on the world. The keepers, vets.
Yeah, someone just stay on that midsection so she can't come round. And we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, hey, all out.
It became abundantly clear why she has that little name, Atomic Betty, because when she goes off.
I'm going to leave everyone out, back out. Go. Yeah. Shield hugs. Get out. Yep, no worries. You go, stop ropes. Go, Chris.
Did you get anyone?
No. She was just scared,
She was saving that up, wasn't she?
Oh, she didn't try to bite. She was just scared and just tried to get away. We got her in a good position. Obi got a great grab on the head, but it's that second part where you see, we had a 1, 2, 3 in line. We went everywhere, and that was, not necessarily confusion, but you've got to adapt and move wherever the snake goes and just get your part. So, but it all went well. Go. I'm going to leave everyone out, back out. Go.
Fingers crossed, after going through all of that, the vitamin injection does its job and Betty does get her appetite back. We'll know in a few days' time whether she's ready for dinner. Can't wait to see what's on the menu.
Yep, when you're ready, Woz, we're all good. Now, this is a small goat compared to normal. We're just going to try and get her a little bit interested. Well, it's been a week since she's had her injection, so hopefully that's pepped her up. We're going to offer her a food item today and see if she takes it. She's interested, look at that. There we go, you beauty. Good. We've got to feed the snake something, whether it's rabbits, rats or goats. I mean, for us it's relatively similar, but I mean the goat's for human consumption, so it's not someone's little pet. We're just so happy that it's worked. This is what we wanted.
So how long ago was he stung?
20 minutes. He's down the water and got stung by a blue bottle and sprocked in the mouth.
Along the line of the blue bottle tentacle, once they detect skin or the inside of Kaiser's mouth, they fire a little arrow, and that arrow contains a toxin. The worrying thing for me right now is that this is going to start to shut off that airway.
He's my life, he's my boy, I hope he's alright, yep.
Pretty there.
Oh really? Yeah. He's coming in now. Apparently the dog has tried to swallow or has swallowed a blue bottle. I'm not too sure about the details, but he's on his way up now. If he has swallowed it, it could be quite serious. Kurt, come straight through. Right, so what's happened?
He's down the water and got stung by a blue bottle and sprocked in his mouth and shaking his lips and everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do. It's not 100%.
So how long ago was he stung?
20 minutes. Yeah.
So you got here as soon as you could?
Yeah. It's still wet, as you can see.
Yeah.
He's down at Malabar trying to stick him off the rocks, Came back like this, like I thought he had a twitch or something. Picked up a stick with a blue bottle on it and then he was shaking his head. So definitely stung by a blue bottle.
Along the line of the blue bottle tentacle are a whole lot of stinging cells. Now these, once they detect skin or the inside of Kaiser's mouth in this situation, they fire a little arrow and that arrow contains a toxin. Not only is that extremely painful, the worrying thing for me right now is that this is going to start to shut off that airway. And in a boxer like Kaiser, there's not much room to start with. How's his breathing in the car up here?
Oh, he was in the back so we couldn't really tell, but he was looking down, like he looks up all the time, but he was just going, like looking down, like he wasn't himself, we know that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of swelling around the back of his throat there. The way we tell is just by checking one side against the other. And his lips on this side here are a similar thickness to that side.
Yep. Just what about his tongue?
Yeah, just his lower lips though just do feel a little bit what we call edematous, so they're just the tissue's a bit thickened, and you can just see that just in here.
Oh, okay. There.
Yeah.
Because it's nearly touching his tooth.
Yeah. And just the side of his tongue is it's just a bit swollen. It's not that smooth shape it's not that smooth texture you'd normally expect. That lymph gland is just the slightest bit enlarged actually at the moment. The problem we've got with boxers is that it's already a narrow space that he's breathing through. He's got a whole lot of face squeezed into a very small bit of area of his skull. So what I might do straight away is give him an injection of a corticosteroid to try and basically reverse the effects of any allergic reaction he could be having to the sting. Okay. Do you mind if I take him out the back to give him this?
No.
I just need to get someone to actually hold that vein up for me.
Yeah, no, that's alright. He's alright.
Thanks, mate. I won't be a second. The worrying period for me is the next 10 or 20 minutes. That is the time when it could shut down the airway altogether. There's no reason why a blue bottle sting to a dog in that mouth or throat area couldn't be fatal.
Oh, mate. Is he alright or what? Touch wood, eh?
Good boy.
Just taking Kaiser out of there, I'm just a bit worried that the whole situation is just getting a little bit stressful. The thing about blue bottles is that it's once they hit the lymph glands, they can have pretty dramatic effects on the circulation. They can cause a pretty big drop in blood pressure. His breathing's just a little bit gurgly at the moment, and he's quite agitated. I'd imagine that agitation is a result of the pain, but also anyone that's been stung by a blue bottle knows that once it starts to track up to the glands, it's quite painful and quite an abnormal feeling.
He's my life, he's my boy, you know. I hope he's alright, yep.
Now, the blue bottle sting is certainly going to be causing a lot of the anxiety we're seeing in Kaiser, but I can't help but think that some of it's also coming from Kurt. Kurt's wound up, he's stressed, he's very afraid about what's going on, and as a result, Kaiser follows suit. The more stressed he becomes, the more oxygen he actually needs. And right now, every bit of oxygen he actually gets into his body is golden. I'm just going to go in slowly here. Sometimes when you give this, you can actually see a response in their body when it starts to open up their airways. They sort of they have a sudden jolting response as they feel it start to have the effect, and that it's probably a little bit worrying for the dog, but it's comforting for us to see. This is more common than people actually think. For some reason, people just assume that blue bottle stings are something that humans suffer from, but dogs, they're more inquisitive than we are. And if they see something interesting on the beach, they'll race up to it and put their nose straight into it. And their nose is one of the most sensitive parts of the body, so they get stung as a result. If they eat it, like Kaiser here has tried to do, then that's when they can actually get into pretty serious problems. So that's relaxed in there a little bit too. You can see the effect that's had. And you see he's just breathing a little bit more comfortably.
Yeah, just waiting here, I just felt physically sick, like still a bit shaky, you know? Like I said, I'd sell everything for my dogs, you know, any one of them, like, They mean everything to me.
How's it going, Laura? Buddy? Oh, you're relaxed, aren't you? Look at that. It's not really what you expect to go to the beach and all of a sudden your dog is in the middle of a medical emergency that could claim its life within half an hour. But I guess Kurt's reacted to it. He's done the right thing. He's brought Kaiser in here as quickly as possible and thankfully it looks like things are going to be okay. He's just a different dog. His breathing's very relaxed, very calm and just panting ever so slightly now. So he's getting plenty of air into his lungs and that's the most important thing. If you feel his lymph glands, that the right one, which is on the side of the sting, is certainly bigger than the left. So what that tells me is that the toxin has actually hit the lymph glands, and that was a worrying time for me. But he seemed to have got through that okay because he's pretty stable. All his vital signs are good. So with him looking like this, I'm pretty comfortable he can go back to Kurt and back home.
Oh, I know that I want him forever on my body. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It means, yeah, it means the world to me. Yeah. Yep.
Where is he, Kaiser?
Oh my god. It's going, Hey Chris.
There you go.
Is he alright or what?
No, he's fine.
Yeah?
He's going to be okay. Yeah.
Sweet, 100%?
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit shaken by the whole thing.
The big boxer.
Good on you, buddy.
I'm seriously, like, you don't understand, like, like freaking out.
Yeah, it's fine. I could tell that, don't worry.
Thanks again, mate. I think it's a lifesaver.
I'm really struggling to think of a time where I've felt more appreciated in my life, but at least he's saying thank you, and that really means a lot.
Oh, what's that? Yeah. What we do for our dog today. Yeah, it's pretty bad, eh? It's just like almost to the point of like saying stop, Trevor. But nah, it's just I know the outcome's going to be unreal.
So much detail in the boxes and match tips and all that sort of stuff. There's so much detail in there. The little paws around their nose and take quite a long time to do.
I've got 3 other dogs, so they're going to all be tattooed on me. Pretty much at the beginning, but they all mean the world to me, and that's just something small I can do for them to have me by my side for the rest of my life. So, yeah. You should have a look at it. Oh my god, that is insane. I'm very happy with that. I'm very stoked with that. Kaiser, look! There's Kaiser! That's you! That's you!
Hello. This must be Sandy, is it?
Yeah.
We've just found him after a couple of weeks of being missing, and looks like he's been hit by a car, and he was trapped under the neighbour's house. We've all been really, really worried.
Goodness. Look at you. So he's been missing for
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
He's been missing once before, yeah, and he got into our cleaner's ute and went for a week's holiday in the back of the ute, so that was fun. Yeah, he's used up most of his 9 lives, I think.
Come on, sweetheart, I'll get you. Charlie knows his leg's broken. Hello, you're all right, you're okay. That's quite nasty. Ooh, it's quite a nasty fracture. Their bones are really quite displaced, and I guess the really hard thing about it is the fact that it's 2 weeks down the track, and they're going to try and stay there now. Yeah, it's really badly overridden. These bone ends should be next to each other, obviously, and they're just well separated. There's going to be a lot of fibrous tissue around that and scar tissue, and it's going to make it very difficult to loosen things up and get the bones back in the right position. So thankfully it's a cat and not a 30 kilogram Staffordshire Bull Terrier or something, because that would be really difficult. Whereas this, we'll be able to do it, but it'll still be a bit of a struggle. What we'll actually do with it, there's a couple of things we can do. One's just put a plate on, plate and screws. That's sort of what I'm tempted to want to do, because once it's done, it's sort of set and forget. You don't have to be involved too much. But sometimes we actually have to put what's called an external fixateur on. It's like a scaffolding that we sort of, pins go through the skin, in the bone, out the skin, and then sort of connected by bars on the outside. And sometimes it's a decision I'll make at surgery, but I think it'll be one of those two things. So I don't know, again, we'll just be ready to do both, and we'll make that decision once we get in there.
I was glad he was back, but I was also sad that he broke his leg.
All right, well, let's get him in.
I'd rather prefer him breaking his leg than being dead.
The struggle with this case is going to be getting the fracture reduced, so back into the right position, because it's been sitting there for 2 weeks. Once we've done that, it should be relatively simple, though I'm a little concerned the middle part, one of the fragments, there looks like there's some fracture lines sort of running through it, and it's possible that they might start to shatter. And that's, I'm thinking now I would probably be pushing more towards the external fixateur, the scaffolding sort of thing. Let's make an incision and see what we do. So I'm just incising over the fracture site now, and there'll be quite a lot of fibrous tissue around it where the body's been valiantly trying to get this to heal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a pin up the top of the bone, so a pin up through here and then a pin through there, and I actually use that as a lever or as sort of some handles to try and pull it apart. As I said before, this fracture's been sitting here for 2 weeks, and so the muscles have all contracted, and so I've got to fight against that now. It's sort of almost fibrosed in that, or contracted into that position. That's where they want to stay, so I've got to counteract that. It's a critical part of the operation. I mean, if it's not perfect, you've got to make sure that it's in the centre of the bone. If it's slightly off centre, there's the possibility it'll crack out the other side when the cat starts to bear weight through it. So, I mean, it's got to be relatively accurate. And now I've got the pins in and the scaffolding, if you like, and now it's just a matter of just some fine adjustments so that to get it the alignment as perfect as I can get it. So that's just going to be a little bit of a fiddle, but I'm pleased with how it's going so far. Righto, can we have that pin cutter, please? I always say to the owners that, I've got the easy job. I just get to do the surgery and fix it, and they've got to try and protect my work whilst it's healing, and that's much more difficult. Well, I'm happy with his new look. Hopefully he will be as well, but we'll see what it looks like on x-rays. That's probably the most important thing. That looks pretty good. That little bit of filler at the end made the difference. All right, we can wake him up. Framework will have to stay on for at least 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how things are going. Whilst he's got that on, he won't be able to do very much at all. He won't be able to jump onto the sofa, certainly won't be able to climb trees, climb up curtains, and he'll be housebound, and I'm sure he'll hate that. But it's a case of cruel to be kind.
No reversing.
Ow!
Oh, I'm not so happy now, baby.
Yeah. I see. Oh, the leg's looking really good. It's a little swollen, but you'd expect that after the manipulation that we have to do to get the fracture into place. The alignment's good, all the pins are fine. There's a very little bit of discharge from each of the pins, but again, that's totally to be expected. So, no, I'm really pleased with it. And he'll start using this leg better over the next few days.
Is
that right?
Baby. Oh, no.
What are you doing?
You want to see Sandy?
It's been one of the hardest 2.5 weeks. I didn't cope very well, and neither did Zach or the boys. I think it's, you know, you just have this cloud hanging over your whole life because, you know, someone's missing a member of the family.
Have you got pictures for it?
Got pictures.
For Sandy?
Pictures. For Sandy. That's for Sandy.
I had a number of nights where I found it very difficult to sleep. And when you've got, you know, a 3-year-old boy crying because he wants to give Sandy a cuddle before he goes to bed and he's not there, that's hard.
How you going?
We got Sandy.
Yeah, we got Sandy here. You going to come and visit? Yeah.
Should we go see Sandy, darling? Want to have a visit, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Hello.
Darling.
Hello, darling. Yes. You're back safe now. Oh.
He loves it, Mommy.
He loves it, does he, darling?
Sandy.
You want to pop him on the floor and see how he's walking? Yeah, you're allowed to use it. Where are you going? You can't go out. Come on. So he's dragging a little bit at the moment, but with time, you'll start putting it down on the ground again. Where's he gone?
He's gone under the table.
He hasn't lost that admittance
No.
to some spirit, has he?
No, you won't be able to fix that.
No.
So he's going to be like this for 8 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
And how much weight is he allowed to put on it?
Oh, look, I'd encourage him to put as much weight as he likes. Normal walking is actually good for the fracture. It'll stimulate it to heal.
Yeah.
But putting too much pressure on it, like if he suddenly charges off after something, puts a lot of pressure through the pins, and they can potentially, I mean, it'd take a lot to do it, but they could break through the bone.
So he's a lucky boy, really, isn't he?
He's very lucky.
I'm just happy to have him home. He's certainly had a few lives. He's obviously meant for this earth. It's going to be a challenging week, but he's home and that's all that counts. Oh, see, he's okay, isn't he?
Yes, built the run, went out, bought some wood and some wire, and today's the first day that we're going to introduce it to Sandy.
Hey Sandy, what have we got for you? Come on you, pick him.
It's been a while since he's been out, so it'll all be a little bit new for him.
Hey Sandy, look what we've got. Your cat run.
Oh, he's loving the fresh air, look at that, look at the nose going. There's a lot of sun there, so they can have their afternoon naps in the sun down here, and plenty of room to do some aerobatics if he wants, so yeah, no, it's good. Got lots of trees and plants. And look at all this, see? So you can't get out? It's a safe haven for him now. It's just going to be good to be able to come home at night knowing that they're there.
So there you go, darling. You're on your playground. I think he thinks he's in the jungle.
You've got to look after them and take responsibility and give them love and affection because ultimately they need you. He's happy, and that's the important thing, and he's on the mend.
You're not trying to get an escape plan happening, are you there?
That's everything Cat does. You know he's gonna hop. Blackie has like a sort of skin diseasey thing. His skin's all flaky and his fur's starting to fall out. He seems not to be fussed by it, but occasionally if you touch him he kind of like flinches and goes a little bit not happy. It's part of the family. He's like a dog. He sits in the house and everything. He won't sit outside, he'll sit in the house. Or if he sits outside, he'll sit right outside our door and just waits for us to come and play with him. So he's a little bit like a puppy.
So I've just been told apparently there's a rabbit out the front for me to look at. Now this gets a little bit embarrassing because it doesn't happen every time, but I'm actually allergic to rabbits, some of them. And when it happens, tears, sneezing, coughing, the works. They either think I'm a bit emotional about the whole situation or just think I'm the wrong guy for the job, we'll see. Hello.
Hello.
How you going?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Alison.
Good, hi.
How are you? And Amy.
Hi.
How you going? And who's this?
This is Blackie.
Of course it's Blackie, because Blackie's white. All right, come on through. Who's got the sense of humour in the family?
That would be me and my brother who decided to give him an unusual name.
Okay. And how old's Blackie?
Blackie just had his 3rd birthday, so.
Big celebration for Blackie, was it? Or
No, not really. I think we went out and left him at home, to be honest.
couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, I know, he had a good day.
Another wild night in Blackie's life trying to work out why it's called Blackie. And what's wrong with Blackie?
His fur's fallen out in a clump, and like, I was patting him and that chunky stuff comes up when you brush him.
Okay. How long has he had it for?
3 weeks or something.
Yeah. You can see what's left too. It's that really dry, scaly skin. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost as though he's wearing a coat of talcum powder almost. You're lucky Blackie isn't black. Otherwise, Blackie'd have pretty obvious dandruff, I'd say. Sorry, Blackie. What does Blackie eat?
Blackie has a half a carrot and a quarter of an apple every night when he goes to bed. He has pellets, he's got the grass constantly. Occasionally we give him like lettuce and celery tops, but he doesn't really react well to mini greens, so.
What happens when
He gets diarrhea.
You just got you're all warts and all today, aren't you? Huh? Yeah. We need to all hang out, Blackie. We know everything about you. Dandruff, diarrhea, you name it.
He's got it all. See, it's pull and then his skin gets shown.
Yeah. There are a few things that could be causing this. Certainly something like a parasite could be burrowing in and irritating the skin. It could be an allergy. It could also be something like a fungus. Rabbits losing hair isn't that uncommon, but it's working out what actually is the cause that's the real trick here. There's no way of knowing unless you run some tests.
I can't
Very
hear
fast, really fast.
it. I can't hear it. Is it supposed to be loud?
More serious than we ever thought.
I can't hear it.
How long has she been deaf for?
I'm beginning to wonder. Oh my god, I really can't hear that. It's worrying me. That's not good.
There's some pretty simple tests we can run. In fact, so simple you'll probably never look at me the same way because you'll wonder why I went to uni for 5 years. But the first test is so simple, it involves a piece of sticky tape.
That hurts when you put sticky tape on and you pull it off. I feel
Hurts when
sorry for him. I can't watch. Oh, yuck.
Okay, so there we go. On the slide, and then we just go straight to the microscope. Oh,
Bug.
Oh my goodness, you poor thing.
it appears, oh, that one's moving. There. He just waved hello.
From the
That's
straw?
disgusting.
You know what's really amazing too? Can you see all those little ovals?
Oh yeah.
They're eggs.
Wow.
So it's going to get worse.
And that's only in the one section too.
Yeah.
Oh, bunny boy.
I would say most likely though that Blackie's always had these mites. The next thing I want to do is actually just check that he doesn't have any fungal infection there.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So we need to actually hit the lights for this because this is an ultraviolet light.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so turn that off. If there's fungus there that's been growing on his skin, that may have even been given an environment to grow on by the fact that these mites are in there, then weirdly, these fungus actually glow under ultraviolet light.
Okay.
So if they were having a little party on him, they're about to get a disco light.
Aww.
Okay.
Party at Blackie's place.
There's a party at Blackie's.
Party at Blackie's house.
So when we put our party light over Blackie,
Yeah.
what we're looking for is a really bright green area, if there is actually a fungus there, and we've got none of that. So I think we can probably rule out fungus as being a cause there.
Thank goodness. Okay.
What's the one place on Blackie's body that Blackie can't chew?
Right in the middle of his back, and that's where they've put it.
Yeah. You can see by that sample there how many eggs there were there.
Yeah.
So very quickly this could go from being a small problem to being a very big problem. So what we're going to do is actually give Blackie a dog and cat treatment. But over the next probably 24 hours that'll spread throughout the skin.
All right.
And go all over the body and target these little mites that are here as well.
Okay. And that should be the end of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes. Too old for rabbit stew. The allergy, is it? You're allergic to rabbits?
Potentially.
Oh, oops, sorry.
It's only some rabbits.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
I like to convince people that I really feel their pain and this is all just an outlet for me and when I see a rabbit suffering it just all becomes a bit too much emotionally for me and
Oh my God, I'm so
there are
sorry.
often tears and strangely sneezes and
Oh, I
the works.
apologise.
No, it's not your fault.
Blackie, it's all your fault. How could you?
The thing is that when
when they have this sort of thing, all those skin secretions, all that powder off their skin goes straight up your nose and straight into your eyes.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's going to be a tough day. It's going to be all right. All right. No worries at all.
Thank you very
Good
much.
to see you.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks. Sorry, I have rabbit for everyone.
That's all right. So do I.
Thank you.
So it's a success. The rabbit's going to be treated. We've identified the cause, but I think I'm now the patient. But hey, the rabbit's okay.
You're pretty flat, aren't you? As soon as you see white gums in a dog, you know it's an emergency. She's just been rushed out the back. We really don't know what's going on.
She had a huge vomit yesterday. We'd noticed she had a few bleeds on her belly, so we took her back up to the vet on Saturday morning.
I'd like to give her a whole blood transfusion. She's a really sick dog. It's pretty much touch and go now. What happened?
I'm not entirely sure, actually.
So the owner just brought him in and...
Well, yeah, they rang up and they said they'll just bring him up, but they didn't actually say
They didn't
anything.
say what was wrong with him. Pretty pale, isn't he? Yep. Sweetheart. As soon as you see white gums in a dog, you know it's an emergency. She's been bleeding in her gums, so any slight bump, she could bleed. She's really in quite a critical state. She's just been rushed out the back. We really don't know what's going on. The nurse is out there talking to the owners now, trying to find out some details. In the meantime, I'm just giving her some oxygen to try and support her. I just need to get a history.
She had surgery about 3 weeks ago she had a blocked anal gland.
Yep.
They were able to empty one of them out. We'd noticed she had a few bleeds on her belly, so we took her back up to the vet on Saturday morning. She had a huge vomit yesterday, and she really hasn't had anything to eat or drink since then.
So at this stage, what I'd like to do is take some blood and work out exactly what her blood count is doing. And if it is below a certain percentage, then she's going to need a blood transfusion. Is that not a big vein?
When they did a full blood count,
We're low.
We're very low.
Okay. Yeah, she's only got a platelet count of 4 here. It's not going to be very useful, is it? If she's got a low platelet count, she's not going to be able to clot her blood. See, she's got bruising in her ears. So it's possible that the antibiotics she was given after the operation have triggered an immune reaction, which is basically attacking her platelets and causing her to bleed internally. We really are not able to stop the bleeding right now, but we can give her a blood transfusion to support her in the meantime. You just lie down. I'm going to make you feel better. Okay. You're pretty flat, aren't you? Hey? Her immune system has gone into overdrive. It's breaking down her platelets and causing her to hemorrhage. Right now, we don't know the exact cause, but she needs a transfusion if she's going to make it through the night. I need your dog's services. I'd like to give her a whole blood transfusion, so if I could use your dog's services.
Oh, he's a good boy. He's one of our vet's dogs. Justin's had him for about 4 years now, maybe a bit less. And he's just such a good boy.
Sorry, mate. Can't go home yet. Got some more work for you to do. Come on. Yeah, Motley comes in with me every day, and sometimes he gets called upon to donate if the need arises for the right patient. Sometimes we've got enough blood on hand, so we don't need to collect blood from him, but sometimes he does need to donate to save another dog's life. Saved probably about a dozen dogs' lives through his donations.
Just given her pre-medication, so we'll give it about 15 minutes to take effect, and then we're just going to collect the blood from Milo in the meantime. So hopefully within the next half hour to 45 minutes we'll start her transfusion.
And how long will that take to run?
Usually it takes a couple of hours, so we start off running it in fairly slowly while we're monitoring them in case of a reaction to the product, and then once we see that they're not reacting, we can run it in a little bit quicker, so a couple of hours.
She's a great little dog, friendly little thing. Hasn't got a bad bone in the body. It's a sad thing, you know, part of your family.
Fight this.
I'll talk to you later. He's going to be a very good boy for us.
Good boy.
Oh,
He's such a big boy, isn't he?
how big? Dogs have 8 blood groups, but we don't actually have to match their blood types. Now, because of the way their antibodies work, they won't reject the blood on a first transfusion.
You're going to be a big helper for Motley.
So in Motley's case, she's never had blood before. We can get the procedure started straight away. Really lucky that Milo was actually here when Motley arrived.
Yeah.
Yes, poor Milo's getting that in his neck. Thank you.
Oh, you're a big brave person, you. Yeesh. He donates quite regularly. Obviously, he's a nice big dog, so he's quite a good candidate for donation.
Getting there. Nice, very good. We're going to give Motley a set volume of blood to try and increase his red cell count back into the normal limits. Milo's so much bigger than Motley, so it's not actually going to really affect Milo that much. He'll get a nice big meal,
Big bowl of food.
big bowl of chicken or something yummy at the end, so he probably will forget about it really quick. Thank you.
Oh, you're a big brave person, you. Yeesh. Big brave boy.
She's a really sick dog. It's pretty much touch and go now. Hey, sweetheart. Blood count's only 12%. The lower end of normal's 37% for a dog, so it is severely decreased. This must be pretty scary for you, sweetheart, hey? You've had better days. Hey, Milo's gonna make you feel better. It's been really handy having Milo here tonight. He's basically saving Motley's life, so if we hadn't been able to collect the blood from him and give it straight to Motley, she may not have survived.
After he donates and gets a big bowl of food. It's the best part about donating, I think.
Hey, Motley.
Hey, Mr.
Let's see your gums. They're looking slightly pinker, I
They are
think.
looking a bit pinker. Are you feeling a bit better now, mate? She definitely looks bright. Like she's more alert, looking around and aware of like
Yeah,
us
aware of
moving
what's
around her
going
and
on.
stuff. So, oh, little girl. She's coping well with the transfusion.
Yeah, she
Hasn't
hasn't
had any
reacted,
reaction
which
at all.
is really good. So
No, she's
I
really
think we
good.
can cut the checks back to every 20 minutes and
Yep.
then down to every half an hour, even up to an hour if she's
Yep.
doing well. And then let's hope for a big improvement in her by the morning.
Good Motley.
Motley! Hi, sweetheart. You're looking a bit happier this morning, hey? You're feeling better with some more red cells, hey? Motley was a very sick little dog last night, and without Milo's blood, I don't think she'd be here this morning. I don't know if he realises what he's done, but he's a bit of a hero in our eyes. I'm going to try and find out why this is happening. Yeah? Right, let's get you an ultrasound. She's looking a lot brighter today. She can stand. She wasn't doing that last night, and that's definitely going to be from having some extra red cells on board after the transfusion. But now we're going to clip up her abdomen and take her in for an ultrasound and try and see if there's anything underlying which may have caused this condition.
Quite a large amount of fluid in her abdomen, which is
concerning me as to whether that's blood or whether she's in congestive heart failure, both left and right-sided.
The ultrasound reveals chronic heart disease.
She's got a lot of problems. She's got severe heart disease and I'm concerned she's now in heart failure.
It's just so unfortunate because she was so... Owners thought that she's been a well dog for most of her life and hasn't really had any problems. So
yeah, and this has all come on very suddenly.
Yeah, it's going to be a big shock to them.
Sadly, shortly after, Motley lost her battle to survive.
Ready, Rufus? Gentleman, that's his name, Gentleman Rufus on the pedigree, and that's what he is, a true gentleman. And ready, set, go, run! Very, very, very docile, very unintrusive personality, super clever. Good boy. With your stick, you can take it. Snores really loudly. He's like a person, really. I treat him like a person as well. Ready, Rufus? He's a mad swimmer. Get a stick. And he has a tendency to dive. Boy, come. Oh, woo! An amazing dog, yeah. He's unfortunately a bit sick at the moment. He's had a high fever. He's very weak, very, very weak. And he's off balance. We assume had a middle ear infection, and which probably now is meningitis, a suspicion of meningitis. We'll see what the vets have to say. Fingers crossed. You ready?
Hello, how are you?
How are you today? Here with Rufus?
Rufus here. Which one's Rufus? Oh, hello.
That's Rufus.
Okay, we'll just pop him on the scales and see how much he weighs.
Yeah. Let's go on the scales. Okay. That's it. Last foot. He was 78 kilos. He lost around 10 kilos within the last week. It's a lot of weight loss. He hasn't been eating at all almost. So yeah, that is of concern. So normally around the 90 kilo mark.
How are you going? Chris.
Evo,
how are you? You filled the room.
I certainly have.
Rufus is not a big dog, he's massive. He is enormous, and it's difficult fitting such a big dog in a room, let alone two of them. And so when I saw the fact there were two there, I knew it was going to be a hot and a very sweaty day. You better come straight through before you try and squeeze another dog in here. All right, guys.
This is the patient.
This is Rufus.
This is Rufus.
It's good to actually have a dog my size, mate. This is a welcome change.
It's a dog, isn't it?
In a way, having a bigger dog like that can sometimes make it easier because everything that you're looking for in terms of clinical signs and any changes in their body are dramatic. They're there and they're easy to see. All right, and what's wrong with Rufus?
Rufus, I think, had a middle ear infection, which is now a suspicion of a meningitis, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I've had him on human antibiotics for the last week, Iblix.
Yeah.
I anticipated a bit more of a response.
Yeah.
He hasn't responded at all. His symptoms are he's very unsteady on his feet, like very uncoordinated, very unbalanced. Yeah. See, it's just fell against the wall.
Yeah.
For 2 days or so, he couldn't lift his head at all. Like he was very, very, very uncoordinated and very unsteady on his feet. Still now, and when he tries to shake his head, he almost falls over.
Okay. Now, Evo, normally I get the dogs up on the table. This is going to be an almighty challenge. Now, can you give me a hand? Because it'd be great to get him up there, actually.
Yep. Come on, Rufus. Up here. Come on, Rufus. Up here. Come on. Rufus. Rufus. Come up here. Come on. You can do that.
We'll support your weight, man. That doesn't help. That does not help the situation. I appreciate your interest, but unfortunately, right now, that's not exactly what we're requiring. You hear a lot of stories of vets doing their backs.
Yeah. 1, 2.
And that's why. That dog is heavy. I mean, you saw the two of us straining to pick him up. Any bigger and there's no way, A, would he fit on the table, but B, could we keep him on there? He's just massive. I've never seen a dog take up the entire table before, but I just hope it's reinforced. That's fine. What ear has he been most affected in? You always regret doing that once you've done it. But it does give you a lot of information about everything sore. It's hard to tell when Great Danes look depressed because those droopy faces, it can be misleading. What I'm looking for here is any abnormal eye flickering. If that infection's moved from the outer ear through the eardrum and actually into the inner ear, then we can get a variety of neurological signs where the eyes will flicker, they'll have difficulty balancing. And if you can imagine when you go on a ride at a theme park, you're spinning around, spinning around, spinning around. When you get off it, the world's spinning. Right now for Rufus, his world's spinning, yet he hasn't been on any ride. And that's why when he stands there, he feels as though he's about to trip over. One of the tests for meningitis is, and this looks very strange, is to actually do that. And because meningitis is an inflammation of the meninges, which is the layer of cells that wraps the brain up, doing that hurts like hell. And for him to be able to put up with that, despite it being quite a crude test, is telling me that he doesn't have meningitis. This can develop into meningitis though, make no mistake, that can happen. But we're not there yet, and my goal right now is to prevent that from happening.
Trying a whole variety of foods that are sort of normally his favorites, and he's not having it.
Yeah. That's actually quite significant, what we've got there. I mean, that saliva should be very, very liquid, but you can see it's stringy, it's actually very dry saliva. It seems strange, but you can actually get a significant amount of information out of something as simple as that. I mean, that's saliva from a dehydrated sick dog. And it's, I think it's been with me long enough, so. You were saying, you're not often have to do this, but you were saying that he's been panting a lot more?
Yep.
Okay, it's probably worth actually checking his temperature.
Okay.
Just to see if he does have a fever. Often if they do have an ear infection, that can actually become serious enough to develop a fever.
Yep.
You're a big boy, aren't you? You are massive.
I know what you mean.
I'm talking about his height, Evo. Okay, let's make that very clear. Very clear. But he is massive, if you don't mind me saying so. As a proud father, I'm sure you don't mind me saying that. Anyway, his temperature's okay, which is good news.
Stay on the table.
Now, you're probably wondering why these haven't worked.
Yep.
Human antibiotics are a big no-no for two main reasons. First of all, the dog could be allergic to them and have an allergic reaction that could even kill it. So in trying to help it, you could actually do quite the opposite. But secondly, the dose of human antibiotics, how do you know how much is the right amount? Because what a human needs is often very different to what an animal needs. This one works superficially, so it's just not going to have any effect there. Plus this one doesn't so much kill the bacteria, but more stops them from multiplying. So what we need here is something a bit more aggressive. What I do need to do, Evo, is actually have a look at that ear. So if you can just hold him there. He's bigger than I am, so he decides where I sit him. This might hurt a little bit, so just be a little bit careful. Okay, so all we've got is a very, very inflamed and red ear canal. And the deeper we go, the narrower the ear canal becomes. I've got some of that dark wax that you were talking about. Now that waxy build-up is a sign of infection. That's usually a yeast infection. And when we've got yeast, we often have bacteria as well. And once they multiply, they almost form an army and they start marching actually down the ear canal. What they've done with Rufus here is actually march right into his eardrum and even past that to cause the infection and the signs that we're seeing where he's off balance and having all sorts of problems. looking at that ear, it's a real mess. The ear canal should be quite open. I should be able to get that probe right down there and have a look right down to his eardrum. But everything was closed in and very messy and very angry too. It was red, it was inflamed. We've got a lot of black wax in there, and black wax worries me because it's a sign of infection. Okay, all right. So I'll put this onto a slide and we'll put it under the microscope. Oh, gee. That is about as bad as you see. There are just millions upon millions of bacteria all swimming around that slide, and if there are that many on that slide, then in Rufus's ear there must be billions, and it's a big ear. So there are a lot of bugs in there. If he leaves it any longer, then those bacteria can work their way even further into his skull. If they hit the brain, you've got serious problems with diseases like meningitis that can kill him. Okay. Now, looking at that slide, there's just an absolute sea of bacteria. There's a few yeast there as well.
Yep.
We need to get this guy into some antibiotics very quickly.
Yep.
And also, I wouldn't mind giving him an anti-inflammatory injection to try and reduce that inflammation and try and reduce the clinical signs that he's showing as well.
Absolutely. Anything to get him better.
Yeah. All right. So there are 2 injections. That's an antibiotic injection, which is going to go in there and kill those bugs that are causing that inflammation and irritation to his ear. And that's an anti-inflammatory. It's going to make him feel better, should get him eating again, and generally getting back to the way we know and love him.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Start with the antibiotic. He doesn't flinch, does he?
No. He's amazing. Good boy. It's going to make you better. You're going to make so much better. Yes, it is. It's going to make you much better. Yes, it is. It's going to make you so much better.
Okay. All right, bud.
Done.
Now, they're going to work for a day?
Yep. For a day.
For a day. And then once that's finished working, then you get him on the tablets.
Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Come on, let's go. It's excellent news. Yep. I'm very, very relieved. Go home, start the medication, and hopefully we should see improvement within the next 48 hours. So that's great news.
Harry, he's got a bell stuck on his beak.
How long has he had it on there for?
It's been about an hour. Hey, lad.
It's hard not to get lost in the slightly comical aspect of this whole thing, but it's very serious as well. Each time Harry bites down, that bell gets pushed further and further onto the beak. If it goes so far, it cracks the beak. It's how it eats. It's how it survives. No beak, Harry has no future. So you've been trying to get it off?
We tried at home, me and my other half, but to no avail.
Okay.
Hey, lad.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, come on.
Harry, is this going to work? No?
He doesn't like being held.
Harry thinks he's carrying all the aces in this room because he can fly. Harry? But he's forgetting one thing. I'm 6'5". There's no part of this room I can't reach.
I think it was in his knee thing.
The more Harry flies around, the more stress he puts on his whole system, and the more difficult it becomes for me. If we're going to get that bell off, it has to be quick, otherwise stress can kill Harry. All right, so I'm going to have to find a way here of basically catching him with my hands, but securing that beak, because that beak is quite powerful, even though it's got the bell on it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know about it when it gets you. All right, and each time he actually bites down, he's pushing that bell further and further onto that lower beak. So we've got to limit how much biting he does.
Right.
How did he end up with it on his beak?
He likes the 2 beads, so we're getting like mixed bags of beads, and I think the bell was in there. I just want to get it off him.
No, sure, don't worry. That's my goal as well. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, I think. That's all. The issue is going to be the fact that he doesn't like me handling him. And does he like you handling him or holding him?
No.
Okay.
They'll sit like this for hours, but...
Yeah. All right. Harry doesn't like being held. How do you get a bell off a beak from a bird that doesn't like being touched? That's a challenge. I want to see if I can just grab him. Okay. So
would it be better if my back's to you so he's looking at me?
Yeah, it might be.
No, you know, mate, don't.
You're a good flyer.
You know. Come on. There you go. There you go. Come on. That's it. No. He knows. Come here. Come here. Come on, I know you're getting upset. You're getting upset, aren't you?
Birds are incredibly fragile creatures. Their circulatory system can essentially just explode with stress. Essentially, if you push enough of Harry's buttons and he becomes stressed enough, his whole circulatory system crashes and it'll kill him.
It's wedged on the top of that lower beak there. Okay. We're going to need some pliers to separate the prongs there. Now, I might just let him rest there. The biggest thing with birds is stress, so I'm just going to keep the handling to about 30 seconds, a minute each time. Alright, and if we're not successful first go, we'll let him go, we'll let him rest, we do it again. Because the more I hold him, the more I constrict his chest, the harder he finds it to breathe. And you can see he's already panting up a little bit there too. So we don't want to get him too stressed here.
The important thing here is preparation. We've got to have all the equipment and a plan about how we're going to get this bell off. Alright, it's action time. Okay. Hey Harry, Uncle Chris is here. Okay, so he's got to get his position there. So if you have his head, you can see we can get him a lot more relaxed. The whole way through this, I'm looking at Harry and going, geez, he's panting, he looks stressed. Is he going to handle this whole situation? Then I look at Dave. He's doing the same thing.
The key here is just keeping his chest nice and open so he can breathe, but just secure the rest of his body here. So I'm just going to start by trying to lift up these little burrs here on the bell.
It's important to remember that, sure, the bell is doing the beak a lot of damage here, but I can't do more damage by getting it off. I've got to be very gentle, but at the same time precise and quick.
They're quite firmly dug into his beak though.
The instinct for a parrot is that when they crack something with their beak, it's to be eaten. So whatever comes off the beak should go the whole way down. I can't forget that. The moment that bell becomes free, I've got to grab it and pull it out of his mouth. Let go, Harry swallows it, and that's a medical emergency. Harry, don't swallow, don't swallow. The moment that bell came free, I was so relieved, but when he went to swallow it, very tense. Reached for it, grabbed it before he had a chance, and then didn't let go. Could not let go.
Let it go, Harry.
Oh, good boy.
They're just going to swallow there for a second.
Excuse me.
That's alright. That was really firmly attached though.
He is. Okay, he should have got his breath back by now, so we might grab him again.
.5, Harry. 6'5", it's hard to get over the top. Should have gone around the side. So he's just got those little indentations on the side, that's where it was attached. Now internally, he's got a little bit of cracking on the inside of his beak, but there's no damage to his tongue or the soft tissue inside the mouth. The damage to his beak looks to be superficial, so it's not extending the whole way through and hasn't caused any cracking down the beak, which is really important because they can actually break their beak and shatter it and fracture it right to the base. If that happens, it can be a problem for life. But it looks just to be the top part of the beak that's actually got the damage to it, and that'll basically grow out like a fingernail does. And he'll wear that down and it'll become smooth once again. But the important structures of the beak are the base and the soft tissues inside the mouth, and he's somehow managed to keep them intact.
I'm grateful, really, really grateful, frankly. And so is Harry. There you go, pal. There you go, mate. We'll get you home now. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm not going to lie, I did sense some tension between me and Harry that really was there from the outset. I consider myself a lover of all animals. Harry's not a lover of all vets. Seems to be hanging at the back of the cage there for some strange reason.
I think if he could talk now, he'd probably be swearing, but you can't.
Swearing at anyone in particular, do you think?
Definitely gentlemen dressed in blue. Cold Chris.
It's a good boy, eh? Yeah, Yoshi is my mate. Yeah. Means a great deal. I can't put it into words.
So what, limping on the front legs?
Yeah.
And when Mark said that Yoshi's been limping on that left paw, my heart sunk. He responds to that. Imagine being that person that has to tell Mark his shining little bit of light in that prison had to be taken away from him. This is a house call with a difference. A house call to the big house. They're 3 Labrador puppies, 3 very bad boys, and they're in the slammer.
Those inmates from the C3 unit.
For me today is just that one day in the year that is so much different. How you going?
Morning, how are you?
Good, here to see the pups.
Pups, okay, come on, have a look at your ID, please.
Of course you can. It's a pretty big program. We're talking 18 months here, where they'll be trained, be put through their paces, learn the basics.
Okay. Chris Brown?
That's
it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just have a look in the bag.
They learn how to bond with their carer, and then they leave for their final finishing school before assistance dogs take them on board and they become official assistance dogs and go to someone with a physical disability.
Just plastic bags.
It's the body bags.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hopefully we won't need those.
hopefully we don't need one of those today. Turn round, put your arms out for me. Okay. Thank you very much. Going through.
Dogs are great levellers. You've got these inmates in here that have been hardened by the system. How are we going, fellas?
In the inmates, we look for people that have got a bit of caring personality and a bit of compassion in their outlook on life and to other people.
How are they going?
Yeah, he's going very well.
Obedience-wise, obviously pretty good, Bill.
Not too bad, a bit boisterous at times.
Watching the dogs in these early stages almost reminds me of those first few weeks at school, where they're all trying to sort each other out. There's a bit of wrestling, trying to establish who's in charge, who's the boss. But you start to see their personalities come through at the same time as well. They're getting worn down though. They must see plenty of exercise.
Take a lot of holes.
I'm not trying to dig out of here, right?
You'll see them. Never thought of that one.
You could be onto something, don't you? I'll tell the guys
officers over there.
Yeah, fair enough. You could be very valuable. Normally in the clinic, it's either there's a similar level of trust and care with a pet and the owner. Here it's different. It's really ramped up. There's almost total dependence in here. As he's wearing tablet. Just have it. There you go. Self-medicating. That's pretty unusual, yeah. And you're seeing almost the dog leaning on the inmate for help, but the inmate leans on the dog just as much for that emotional connection.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a limp, but I think he's done that in enclosure on the weekend playing with the other dogs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what, limping on the front legs?
Yeah.
The funny thing about these pups is when they're playing, when they're running around, you don't notice the subtleties. And when Mark said that Yoshi's been limping on that left paw, my heart sunk. Because if that is a developmental problem like elbow dysplasia, that's the end of the program for Yoshi. He can't continue, he will not be an assistance dog. And for Mark, that would just be beyond heartbreaking.
He's going to help some poor bugger out in a wheelchair, and that's what I'm looking to help, to make life better for somebody in a wheelchair. Let's go, let's go. Good boy. There you go, come on, mate. Yeah, Yoshi is my mate. Up. Here. Means a great deal. I can't put it into words.
These dogs, they don't judge them. To them, they're an owner, a companion, a mate, someone they trust and someone they believe in, and they can really lean on each other and have a great bond with no conditions.
He's a good boy. Yeah, he is. Good boy. The feeling is stupendous. It's really good. Has me glowing inside. I really feel now I'd be lost if I don't see him for a day or two. It's a good boy, eh? Damn.
He's going along okay. He responds to that.
Imagine being that person that has to tell Mark, his new best friend, his shining little bit of light in that prison, had to be taken away from him. I couldn't do it.
Good boy, Yoshi. Damn, Yoshi.
When I started looking over Yoshi, even though I never like to see pain, to see just that slight little wince he gave when I twisted his wrist around,
He seems to resent it.
it was a good thing because that indicated a sprain, which is treatable with rest and with anti-inflammatories.
It'll get into his system and reduce the inflammation in that wrist joint, take away the pain, the soreness, and the swelling. And by doing that, you should notice that in those mornings, he's a lot more free and easy and can run around with no worries at all. But to get the effect, he does actually have to swallow it, which might take some time. Oh, you've done it. Well done.
Oh, good boy, Yoshi.
Sit. Sit.
Good dog. Not bad, Bill.
Not too bad.
It's all right.
He can understand Scottish as well.
He does 2 languages. Bilingual.
It's a high IQ.
So what does it mean to you to have him in here with you?
It's just tremendous to have an animal in here, or something you can love. You could say, because there's not much love in jail. And if the inmates hear me saying this, they'll laugh at me. It's brilliant having a dog there. It gives you purpose when you're waking up in the morning too, of course, because the first thing you do, you get up and you say, right, I better take him for a walk. It's like a mother with her children, you know, I mean, they enjoy it, but it is hard work.
Get in the car. It's this lot of inmates, this will be the first time they've left the centre to mingle with the public, with the pups. Oh yeah, that's on your mind the whole time you're out, that, you know, something may happen. God forbid that one of them tried to do a runner, but no, really, they're all pretty good, so. No, Bill? Yeah, Bill is very disappointed that he's not able to come, particularly with it being our first outing, but Bill's 6.2, which is what he has to have signed off by the Commissioner, hasn't come through yet, so he understands that these things have got to be done, and he's quite happy for Brett to step in his place, yeah.
Hope Yoshi goes all right. He's not too frightened and intimidated by the children.
It'd be good to see how they go with kids' accidents.
Yeah,
you know, they all want to get in there and touch the pups, and that'll be good. Especially because
that car trip was something else. We're driving along, Kath the whole time's worried there's going to be some sort of mass breakout. But all the while, I was just totally absorbed in the fact that Mark had never been in a car that had electric windows before.
Press button windows up there, not the old handles down anymore. Yeah, I tell you what's blown me away, the radio and that. 20 years ago, they weren't like that.
No.
I mean, she's worried he's going to run away. He wasn't going anywhere. He'd never seen anything like this before in his life. And when you think about it, it's mind-blowing to think that that's 21 years without being in a car.
I just can't imagine that.
Yeah, I love the forests. Love seeing the pine trees. I've been down here before mowing lawns and stuff, but I haven't been here with the dogs, so it's the first time I've been here. So the kids will have a thrill anyway. Let's go. Let's go. Hello.
Because the inmates come sort of on a monthly basis to do our lawns, the children are all aware of the fact that they are inmates from Kirkconnell, all very accepting of them and love the fact that they bring the dogs along. Come on up and meet the children and introduce them to the dogs. They just love them and love the boys bringing them down. We're now in the process of trying to organise sponsorship of one of the pups in Kirkconnell.
Yeah, Yoshi, speak. Speak. You're shaking. Speak, boy. Yoshi, speak. Good boy. Good boy. Speak.
They're always very polite and very concerned about the children and doing the right thing in the school.
Good on ya. Give this lady a gold star.
Oh, yay, this is what I like.
Just be gentle, kids. You don't want to overwhelm the dogs.
He's nice and shiny, ain't he? He's a good boy. That was precious. I mean, you can't put a price on that. I know the children love the dogs, so, and because of that, it made me feel good.
It was like a father with his son or something like that at the first football game when he scores his first try, so yeah, it was good.
The school trip was very special. Just to see those kids so absorbed in those puppies just shows you the amazing power of animals. But they didn't even notice there were two inmates in the room. To them, the fact they were from a prison did not matter one little bit. They were these magical people that were training these dogs to do these incredible things for an incredible purpose. That was all that mattered, and that was great.
Oh yeah, but they're only playing. Yogi, Yogi, come on, come. Come, Yogi. Come. Come on then. Come on then. Good dog. Come on then, son. Here, see. That's a good dog. Yes, he's a good dog. Good. Yes.
Regret not seeing Yogi's big performance in his first outing?
Yes, I did actually. I was walking round there lost, round the oval. Sort of, you know, but it was, yeah, considering it's a big day for everyone here today, yeah, it was quite. I missed him for an hour. I heard he was the star of the show.
He was outstanding.
I don't think so.
Yoshi, wait. Wait.
I look at these dogs and you can't help but wonder which is going to be the one that makes it. And Yoshi,
Come on.
I don't know about Yoshi.
Good boy. Good boy.
I think Ziggy's a bolter. I think he's got the looks. Somehow he might even have the brains as well.
Shake. I love him. He's my little mate, you know. If I'm sad, I can just cuddle up to Ziggy. I can, you know what I mean? He's there for me and I'm there for him. Can't hear? Yes.
Good boy.
This time I'm not going to say I'm not going to stay out, but I'm going to definitely try my hardest. I want to stay out for the freedom and get my own pup and that when I get out. So, yeah, it makes me want to stay out.
Oh, to say I'm over the moon with it is probably, you know, understating it. The guys are incredible. The benefits to all the inmates, the staff and everybody, it's really great. And then to know that the benefits flow on to members of the community, it gives everybody a real buzz.
Yogi, go to bed.
It's sad to be in a place where people are, I guess, down.
Close the door.
But you've got this little pocket of happiness, little pocket of hope that these dogs provide.
It has me thinking about the wrongs that I've done in the past. It has me feeling that I have contrition. It makes life that much better, like when he puts his head on my chest. I give him a good pat and I say, he's a good mate, you know? You're a good boy. You're a good boy, aren't you, hey?
Every time I come here, I guess I leave with a fairly mixed bag of emotions. They're three dogs that mean the world to everyone in here.
It's fantastic. How you going? Jeff, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. How are you?
Chris, how are you?
Good, mate. Good.
Mate, come straight here. What's his name?
Name's Buddy.
Buddy. How old is he?
Yeah, it'd be nearly 6 months, 5.5 months.
So just explain what's happened tonight.
Mate, I don't know. Like he just come into the lounge room.
Yeah.
He just started to lay down and scratch his face.
Yeah.
And then started kicking his back legs, starting to spasm.
Yeah.
And then he just wanted us. He just came and, you know what I mean, just laid on us as if to say, I'm sick and that.
Yeah.
And that's it, mate. I got in the car and he started slobbering.
Yeah.
Like real clear runny slobber.
Yeah.
And then that's it, mate. His face just went warm like that, all in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. And his eye, see his eye?
Yeah.
His eye's gone all, look at the colour in his eye, like it's all red and going up. Because that's a bit swollen, but you can see the colour difference in the eye, obviously. And his lip is like...
That's huge, isn't it?
It's massive on both sides, feel that.
Yeah.
It's all right, mate.
He's distressed, he's having big trouble getting his air in. This looks like the classical signs of an allergic reaction, and we need to stabilise him and do it very quickly. I just want to check him over just for the signs. He looks like he's in anaphylactic shock at the moment, which is basically a severe allergic reaction.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law found a wasp, a tiny little black wasp with a brown body on the kitchen floor that was dead.
Yeah. And you were saying he was gurgling a bit, or he was...
Yeah, he was just like slobbering.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then panting.
Yeah.
But that's about it, you know. Like I just tried to ring everyone, and then I just got onto you, and I just jumped straight in the car, mate, and come straight over.
Buddy, you got to be good for us, okay?
It's all right, bud. I'm here, mate. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right, mate. I'm here.
Just calm down. Buddy's gone into what we call anaphylactic shock. Now, if that reaction is severe enough, his airways will constrict. If that happens, he won't be able to breathe at all. Can I just get used to holding him there? You can. I just want to check his airway just to the level of swelling around the back of his...
He was scratching his throat.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, it's like a human that has a, say, bee sting allergy.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, buddy, it's all right.
Come on, mate. It's okay.
Just listen to his chest now. Buddy.
It's all right, buddy.
Come on.
He's only helping you, mate.
His heart rate's really high at the moment.
Yeah. Can't you put anything into him to stop the reaction or something?
We can give him some medication. We've just got to identify how severe it is, which will base
how much medication.
What medication we use. Does he have any known allergies to any foods or medications or any treatments like that?
We feed him mince, we boil spaghetti, and we just have like mince and spaghetti, and sometimes we put corn in it and vegetables, and mainly we just get the puppy dry food, and we just give him some of that as well. And mate, he eats our food, like bones and that, we give him bones.
Yeah.
And we haven't given him anything different to eat today.
So he's never had any reactions of any sort like this before?
No. He's been so healthy, mate. He's just been perfect. Like look-wise, exactly the same all the time. Right. Really healthy and that, never changed.
I might just get a temperature on him. He obviously feels quite hot at the moment.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Alright, Jeff, his temperature's a bit high. It's at 39.5. So, look, that would fit in with some sort of anaphylactic shock. So, basically, his whole immune system's on overdrive. It's sensed that something's not quite right.
Okay.
And everything's been kicked into action and he's feeling a bit hot. And that would explain why he's quite agitated.
Yep.
I'd like to give him an antihistamine, also a cortisone injection, to try and basically null out his immune system. Now, the first injection's easy. Just going to go underneath the skin here.
Yep, it's all right.
Just hold his head there. Just going to go in here. Yeah, buddy. Just relax, mate. You feel that, buddy? Just going to clip up the vein and try and get intravenous access.
Just hold him still, far out.
The thing about these drugs is that they work well subcutaneously underneath the skin, but they do work a lot better in the vein. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if we can just give it a go, it'd be great. If I can just get your thumb to do that.
Okay. Yep.
That's all I need you to do.
Just put it in, mate, because he wants to stay still.
No, we can't go too quickly.
Oh, righto.
Alright. Great, buddy. Thank you, mate. Just keep going there. The worst case scenario is we can't reverse the effects of the allergen. Okay, we're almost done.
And in that situation, then his airways begin to constrict, and we're going to do our best to try and reverse that right now. If I just have a listen to his chest here. Sounds like he's starting to take deeper breaths here, which is good. His heart rate slowed down a little bit, which implies he's a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Trying to give the missus a call and give her an update.
Darling? Yeah. He's fine, darling, he's fine. He's been bitten by probably that wasp. Just checked his breathing's fine. He's coming back to normal.
Some kind of, like, you know how kids have shots to protect themselves? Can you be given something so that if it happens again, that doesn't happen?
It's like, I guess it's like a kid with either a peanut allergy or a bee allergy. All you can really do is just be on hand, watch him where you can, but the moment you see any sort of swelling, just obviously give me a call and we can give him the medication.
I have your number on the fridge.
Well, I'm sure.
He's fine,
he's looking at the phone wondering why he can hear Mum but can't see us, so.
Oh, because I'm home with his little girl.
But don't worry, he looks like he's going to be okay.
Thank you very, very, very much. I'm very relieved.
Alright, no worries at all.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
So,
No worries.
well, hopefully he's smart enough not to go near it next time.
The one word of warning is that, just like people, the first time the immune system sees it, it freaks out. The second time it sees it, it really, really reacts and overreacts, and you can often get a bigger reaction second time around.
Okay.
But at the same time, you just hope that he's learned a lesson from this as well.
Yeah.
And you learn that when those little brightly coloured things that buzz a little bit approach him,
hopefully he's scared of it, runs away from it.
Exactly, and look, this is the age where they learn those sort of things.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, in the end, it may actually be a positive thing that he's had this and learns to not approach them.
It just shows you can't wait around until the next day to see if these things are going to sort themselves out. Jeff acted straight away. As a result, Buddy's alive and one very lucky dog.
But look, if you're worried about him tonight, give me a call.
Oh,
he'll be fine.
Sweet ass.
Okay.
No worries.
And you sleep well, all right?
Thanks a lot, Chris.
No worries, I'll see you later.
Ready?
Hello. Good boy.
This is a little bugger that caused so much drama to our little boy, our dog. Drop it. Drop it.
What's happening, Millie? You could see it all sort of swelling over in his throat, so we didn't think we'd make it. We thought we'd been given the most precious gift in the world, and at the same time we were going to lose our little boy, so it was horrible. So the only thing on the fridge is Chris's number and a photo of Buddy.
That's right.
Thank God for Chris.
That's right, yeah.
Without him, we wouldn't have a dog.
We picked her up on Saturday from a breeder in Canberra. Brought her home the first day. She was very bouncy, playing with everything, but then she's gone downhill from there. Mark's been sleeping next to her at night time, and I've been having
Because we
time
thought
off
maybe
work.
distress was one of the problems, because she would cry a lot at night. Well, we're not supposed to go to her when she cries, but when she gets better, we'll give her a bit of tough love.
Hello, Kiko. Oh, is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah.
Kiko?
Yeah, we picked her because she's Japanese and she's a Japanese Spitz.
Oh, gorgeous
and it means
girl.
delight, rejoice.
Now come through. Now, what's been going on with her?
Brought her home on Sunday. She cried all night, but Mark slept next to her.
Yeah.
She had 3 meals on Monday. She slept in the bathroom, but she was very distressed. She peed in her bed, and she still had diarrhea. Wednesday, yesterday, was my first full day back at work, but I've had a puppy sitter come in every afternoon, so today and yesterday.
Good mum and dad. You a spoiled one, huh?
And I'm glad I did, because he rang me today and said she doesn't look very good. She looks worse than yesterday. So there was still diarrhea then, and there was blood in a pool of mist, and it was about that much. Okay. And when I got home today after the puppy sitter had seen her.
Oh, so the puppy sitter was today, not yesterday?
Today and yesterday.
Okay, both days, okay.
There was urine on the ground, and it looked really dark to me, so I had cotton wool balls and I just put it in it, and it was like really dark, like almost brown, chocolatey colour.
Nicole and Mark are very devoted parents. Kiko is their first baby,
Nicole's been keeping a diary of her. They've hired babysitters. They are really proud parents, but unfortunately now they're very worried parents because Kiko's got a big fight ahead of her. Now, what have you been feeding her?
Same as what the breed would been given.
So there's been no raw meat?
No.
No dairy.
No dairy. And she hasn't really been outside unsupervised?
Never.
The biggest concern is because they're so tiny is they can become dehydrated really, really quickly. So her gums are a little bit dry, which is a sign of dehydration. And the fact that she hasn't been keeping food down from the mouth and out the bottom and not eating, it means that she's not getting glucose and she's not getting fluids. And those are the two biggest killers in a young puppy. And often a really good sign of dehydration is how flat they are. So I'll just take a look at her and then we can have a chat about what we need to do.
Thanks.
Okay. She's definitely not acting like a puppy. She's really lethargic, she's weak, she's lost all her energy, and a puppy should be full of beans and she's pretty flat.
So you think it's just dehydration?
Well, I guess we need to run some blood tests, so that way we can check her glucose, we can check her liver enzymes and look for signs of inflammation, check if she's dehydrated, and then what she really needs is to go on a drip. In a puppy of her age and her size, the most common thing is some sort of an infection. So whether it's a bacteria or a virus, their immune systems are really underdeveloped. So any time that they change environments or are exposed to other dogs or new situations, their immune system's going to be challenged with all these infections, and sometimes it's just too weak to fight back, and that's when they get sick like this. Dehydration can be a killer in a dog of her size. Basically, all the fluid's been sucked out of her body and been lost in her diarrhea and vomit. And if we don't treat that, it can cause her body basically to shut down. All right, Kiko. Hey, let's get you sorted, little lamb. Oh, she's so tiny. Let's see what you weigh. There you go. 1.39 kilos. Oh my goodness! There's nothing of you.
Are you going to be brave? Are you going to be brave?
Oh, I've got a funny noise now. Yeah. So right now we're going to take some bloods to run some tests.
Hello.
Alright, little one, you ready for a sting? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Alright. Okay. I just hate doing this because if she moves and I've got a needle right there are lots of important body parts around that I do not want to stick a needle into, so...
You talk to Beck. Hey, honey. You're all right.
All right. Take 2.
We'll give that another go. Good baby.
Kiko.
Well done. Perfect.
Oh, he's a good girl.
You just want to cuddle.
All right, let's check what her glucose is. Oh, that's low. She's got a blood glucose of 1.4. With the blood sugar that low at the moment, that would cause signs of exactly what she's doing now. So really flat, lethargic. If it drops lower, if it drops below 1, she's going to be at risk of seizures. So we need to get some IV glucose into her to prevent that from happening. You've got to give glucose pretty slowly when you give it IV. Puppies are such fragile little things. I mean, we are so much bigger than them. She's 1.4 kilos, so we've got to be so careful with the amount of drugs we give her, the amount of fluids we give her. Everything has to be exact because there is so little room for error with these guys. All right, little lamb. Hey, come here, let's put your drip on. Let's put your drip on. There you go. Right now I've got her on IV fluids and there's glucose in the drip bag, so that's going to stabilise her. But in the meantime, we've got to run those blood tests to work out if there's any other clues as to what's causing her problems. Oh, this has suddenly got much more serious for little Kiko. Initially I thought it was just a fairly non-specific gastroenteritis, and now she's got actually one of the horrible complications of gastro, which is low protein. So she's going to need a plasma transfusion. Plasma is the clear part of the blood with the red cells taken out, and it's got lots of protein in it, and we give it to her through her IV catheter as a drip, and hopefully that will increase the levels. Because Kiko is so small, she only needs 14 mils of plasma. Most dogs will need a whole bag of it, and I have to just give her such a tiny amount because she's so little. There you go. Got your plasma. We've got so much tubing going on here. Basically, she's getting her fluids with her glucose and she's having a plasma transfusion. We're not going to really know much until a few hours' time, and I'm really hoping that what we're doing makes a difference. We've just done another blood test. It's been 12 hours now, and we're checking her protein level, and it's only come up a little bit, not very much at all. Now, the best way for her to get her protein levels up is to actually eat and to keep the food down. That's the natural way of doing it, and if she doesn't, if she continues to vomit or she's not interested in the food, she's going to need another plasma transfusion. Hey, little mouse, do you want a bit of chicken? Somebody loves chicken, come here. This is exactly what I wanted. Fingers crossed that that stays in her tummy. No, don't eat that. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. That is just disgusting. No, that is really not going to help you get better. That was just revolting. She just passed diarrhea and then tucked into it. So, yeah, that's not going to help her recovery at all, and I'm just going to remove this out of sight. It's such a letdown because I really thought that she'd be going home tomorrow, and it's just this up and down motion of puppies with gastro, and we've just got to give her more time.
Look at that! Hey, Picky Bear.
Hey, gorgeous.
Oh. Hello. You look better. You look better.
Still looks quite unsure of her surroundings and everything, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, she's. It's very scary for her to be here and so. See. Oh, that was the last thing.
I just had a heart attack.
So did I. No flying off tables, huh? You don't need broken legs as well.
I guess I just tried to think about when I've had gastro. No, it's revolting. So, you just hang in there, baby girl.
It's been a roller coaster for this little girl, and sadly Kiko won't be going home until I'm certain that she's recovered from this. She just needs a little bit more time. And then you'll beat it, hey? Oh, good girl.
Bye, Picky.
Bye, little puppy.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're really gonna hate me. Are we friends? Are we friends? She's just turned the corner. She's done a formed stool, which is excellent. There's been no more vomiting. She's been eating really well. And yeah, she's ready to go home. great.
Look at them! Oh, hello, Bobby! I'm coming home.
You want your
There
picture
you go.
taken with
Go-
the vet?
go to your little- go to your saviour.
The evil vet, so I've been labelled.
No,
Hey?
it's just my stirring you up.
You
Ready?
get cuddles?
She's the nice lady vet.
Everyone who's going to play with her for the next week is going to get Dettol
They're not allowed to
hand
touch
rub
them.
first. Brilliant.
Bye.
Thanks guys, thanks again. See ya.